Welcome to the Find Your Leadership Confidence podcast with Vicki Noethling. You are about to discover impactful lessons that help you grow as an individual, grow your confidence, and find the positive and good within you, so you powerfully and authentically become the best version of yourself. Be sure you visit our website at www.findyourleadershipconfidence.com. While you're there, subscribe to us via your favorite network. Now tune in, get ready, and enjoy the journey of emerging as a leader of exception in the 21st century.
Welcome, everyone, to the Find Your Leadership Confidence podcast. I'm your host, Vicki Noethling, coming to you from Roswell, Georgia. The goal of this podcast is to bring topics and guests that will empower you to become that confident leader and take your business and your life to the next level. Today, I am very pleased to have Joanna Armstrong as my guest. And let me tell you about Joanna. For the past 14 years, she has been helping clients free themselves of everything from stress, worry, insecurities, and overwhelm to anxiety, fear, sleeping problems, and imposter syndrome. But don't let your negative emotions run your life and hinder the success you truly deserve in your business, work, and home. Transform negativity into empowerment in seconds. And I wanted to have our topic today be from stress to blessed, no matter what. I thought that was a wonderful. So please join me in welcoming my guest, Joanna Armstrong. Joanna, so happy to have you on.
Thank you so much. I'm glad that I could be here. Thank you for inviting me, Vicki. Very nice.
It's going to be a great conversation we have. And we always start, though, with a simple conversation. Please share with everyone what country and city you're from.
I live in Stockholm, Sweden, and I've been living here all of my life. And I had a little break where I lived in the States. I lived in New York City for 10 years. So that was my previous life, but my current life is here in Sweden.
Had to go back home, huh?
Yes.
Miss it, the hustle and bustle of the States. All right.
Yes.
The first question is really just to give some backstory. You talked about New York and that you were from Stockholm. So tell us, what led you to where you are today? What journey did you take that took you from Stockholm to New York and back to Stockholm?
Well, how do you put it succinctly? I've always been impatient, and I've always wanted things to be efficient. And I like things to happen in a smooth way. So my excitement about life and my journeys into the world was, I guess they came about from curiosity. I was curious about life and what else there was, and I was young and naive, but hopeful. I've always had hope as my guiding star, you could say. Maybe naively hopeful. And at some point, I guess I was a bit ashamed of being a bit naive, but I see that as a power now, that hope should never leave us. And so I had my previous life and an episode in my life in New York. I painted and graduated from the School of Visual Arts with a Bachelor of Fine Arts. And I thought that was going to be my calling. I thought that was what my life was about. But it turns out that I was truly called to do something more meaningful. So I came back to Sweden to start a family, I suppose. I had met a guy in the States, and he was British, and And in order to do that family thing, I figured that home was the best place, close to my parents and the support and all of that. But on that journey, on the next episode of my life, I started being called to discover something deeper, something less commercially viable, if you will, and something more soul aligned.
Mm-hmm.
So on that journey, I've discovered methods and systems that help people quickly, smoothly, joyfully to feel better, to shed the feelings, shed the emotions that are in people's ways. And that is my journey, my calling in a nutshell.
Wow, that's awesome. So you really, I think, touched on a great segue to my next question, which is about mindset and emotions, and why that they are the most important strategy. I truly agree with this statement. So talk to me about how mindset and emotions, where people sometimes let those get in their way and stop them from their greatness.
Mm. Well, our emotions, our ideas, our ambitions, they all kind of reside in our body. We think that it's all in the thinking, in the cleverness, in the grades, in the status. We think that's where it's at. We're aiming for something, and we want results from the outside to give us happiness, to give us joy, to give us a sense of belonging, a sense of worth. And I've discovered, working with countless people and clients, that that is obviously not where it's at.
Right.
If you don't have your feelings in check, if you don't feel comfortable and satisfied just the way you are, without your fancy clothing, without the makeup, without the hairdo, if you're not happy and satisfied, all the joy and all the striving won't give you that joy that you really, the soul searching, the emptiness, the being you needs to be whole before you can go out and meet the world, go out and get those things that you're looking for, the people that you're aiming to meet, or the greatness that you're looking for. Without the stability, you won't really enjoy it.
Yeah.
You will find most likely that that is a bit empty. It doesn't give you the satisfaction that you're looking for.
As you were talking about that, it just took me to my grandsons. So I have a 4 and 8-year-old grandsons right now, and the 4-year-old, I think, expresses what you're talking about so well. Whereas I walk into the room, and across the room he runs yelling "Oma!" and hugs me, and he doesn't care what I look like. If I have makeup on, he doesn't care anything about me. That makes me so happy and so satisfied, and that joy. And that's what I think people need to understand, that, you need to remember that whenever you're seeking other things that, are not really, they don't matter, and I think that's
Exactly.
where our heads get all screwed up sometimes. But that's, if you're ever having a bad day, you just remember that moment where there was sheer happiness and joy just because someone cared that much about you. And what are you doing to have people care that much about you?
Exactly. And even without the grandson, I'm talking about even just sitting all on your lonesome. Some people have difficulty being alone.
Oh yeah.
And that's when the demons, so-called, come out. but they're not demons. They're lessons. They're signals. They're little wake-up calls that there's something behind the so-called pain that can be understood, cleared out, transformed. And there's no need to be stuck. There's no need to allow yourself to be there, because there are such simple ways of getting out of it. You should definitely prioritize learning how to shift out of these things, emotions, states that you're not happy with, because you deserve better.
And so when you talk about that, whenever you start to recognize that you're getting in that funk, if you will, use an old term, but your emotions are not where they need to be, that you need to get them in check. It doesn't have to take forever, right? It can be like that if you choose. And talk to us about that.
Well, I've had, again, tons and tons of clients, and they all come because they have something that isn't working, and they're very, very good at trying to clean it up and trying not to be that way and trying to get rid of something. And when I show them and point to, well, what do you want? What would you rather have? Oh, no, wait, hold on. I have to just clean this up. I want you to help me clean this up and get rid of the mess and the discomfort and the shame, the dissatisfaction, the conflict, whatever it is. It's easy for clever people to be very good at clearing things up, at sorting your house, at making sure that everything is straight and narrow and perfected and shiny and bright for the outside world to see. But it's a process that is not necessary. If you let yourself look up, in a sense, take a deep breath, back away. Literally, you can take a step back, take a deep breath. That is a very, very wonderful beginning of the process that I have and I teach people and I help people with. But those few steps will break your self-hypnosis, if you will, because we tend to follow that feeling. Oh no, not this feeling again. And we get stuck in needing to brush it away, or, but if you allow yourself positivity immediately, let me just pause this for a second. Let me just get myself to a great state, shake it off. And there are some other steps you might need to take if that is not quite enough, because that might give you a little breather and some sort of comfort. But sometimes you need to take a few more steps in order to really shift it. But that's a very, very simple and easy beginning and start for everyone to use.
And I think that kind of ties back to the very first thing when we talked about mindset, because something that might be keeping you from doing all those things that you just talked about, even to trust that breath, that stepping back is going to help, is that you aren't trusting your guts. And for me, I think it has always been such a great guide for me. When I knew that it did not feel right, that my gut was telling me to do something different, then I could follow that. But, our mind gets in the way a lot of times from our other mind, which is in our gut.
Yeah. And I'm glad you bring that up, because so many people don't believe, as you said, that it's this simple. And I hear it over and over that, oh no, that's too simplistic, and oh, it can't be that fast. And I've been struggling with this for years. And it turns out that it can be that simple. It can be that easy. And I've helped people that have been stuck for years with things that they've gone here and there and tried to get help. And yet, when you allow yourself this process and this opportunity to see things, see yourself, see your situation from another angle, and then the techniques that I'm using are aimed to physically break a state so you can basically rebuild the wiring in your brain. So your thinking gets aligned with your feeling, with your heart. I mean, it kind of goes back and forth. So who knows which comes first, but allowing yourself self-love and self-appreciation and gratitude is hugely important. Hugely important.
Yeah. Had a whole session last night about gratitude, and it is, you know, I think that's one of the things, if you don't do any journaling at all, if you just every day write down the beginning of the day what you're grateful for, and at the end of the day, it helps your mind stay in the right place so much.
Yeah, it does. Those simple things.
Yeah.
It can, and I'm seeing it as it's supposed to be simple. We don't need to struggle is unnecessary. Struggle is a choice, and it might sound a bit cocky and tough, but it is. I mean, it is that simple. And to get people to believe that, I think that's that might be the biggest issue.
And you know, people might be saying, "Oh, well, you're just talking about life and all this, but what about my business? How's that helping me in my business?" But you know, share what you think about that. I mean, you describe it as the key success tool, right?
It is, because if you feel, let's take imposter syndrome. If you have the smallest feeling of, oh no, are they going to like me? And you wrinkle your eyebrows, and the smallest touch of that will make you avoid calling certain people, will make you avoid going certain places, will make you avoid showing up like this, talking to strangers and telling them your life story. So the smallest little inkling and touch of disbelief of self, or let's say you're angry and frustrated, you get angry with people. Oh, they're doing things wrong. Well, that will make it difficult to collaborate. It will make it difficult to hire people. It will make it difficult to enjoy the thing you're building, your enterprise, your business, your whatever it is that you're creating. It will make it difficult to enjoy.
Yeah.
So those feelings are so crucial, even in business.
And that really ties nicely to our theme: stress, take stress to blessed. I mean, I actually just got off a call a few minutes ago where I was talking with a group, and one of the folks was just sharing that they had this event, and the person they were working with was not at the same pace as they were. And she should have not gotten a person that was not at her pace. And so there's so many things in business you have to understand about from that collaborative, right? The culture, and you don't want to have a mini Vicki, you know, or mini me, because you need that blending. And so I think we try to be perfect, and that adds the stress that we can't get to blessed because of that. So share a little bit about the whole idea of being perfect, or having the perfect collaborator or partner.
Yes, that's a huge misunderstanding, that you can even be perfect, that there is such a thing. I mean, that is hugely, I used to be that way. I used to think that if I this, if I that, And it's so nice not to have to fall for that any longer. That doesn't mean that I don't try to put my best side forward, let's say. I haven't gotten to the point where, I don't brush my hair or brush my teeth, or, I mean, there are certain things that you won't stop doing. But the sense, and again, this is more of an internal thing, the sense of having to be perfect really ruins things, because it just isn't possible. So trying to achieve it for yourself, for your business, for your colleagues, for that partner, for the collaboration, as you mentioned, to expect things of people is just torturing yourself, because it's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. So understanding and non-judgment is really the way to go forward. Of course, you don't want to take on anyone. They need certain qualifications for a certain job, for a certain position. If you're hiring someone or you're collaborating, you do, and you have the right to have certain requirements. The perfection, that's a whole different ballgame. That is just unhealthy, because all of these feelings and stress and irritation, frustration, just eats on your insides. And well, the longer you let it fester, I don't need to explain the dangers, but it's very bad for you, unfortunately. So happiness is the cure.
Yeah, and I think part of what causes stress is in that team or collaborative environment is the lacking of setting expectations at the get-go. Because in your mind, you might have thought when you hired them or you brought them on your team, that they knew the expectations, and so you didn't need to elaborate on them. But generally, I found that their interpretation of the expectations isn't always quite what you had thought was shared. So I think that lack of setting expectations is also a stress builder.
Yeah, so there are certain forms, there's certain frameworks you do need to have in place, but it will never go exactly that way. And I remember years ago when I was employed, before I started doing this work of helping people, I used to work as a graphic designer, and I had a boss, and she was very casually non-caring about those important things that I thought, because back then I did try to strive for that serious perfection, and we have to do the right thing. And I'll never forget that she started laughing when something went wrong. We had this mishap, and something wasn't sent on time, and I think there was even going to be a fine. And she started laughing. I'm thinking, oh my God, how can you be laughing? This is serious. But she was right. I mean, yeah, okay, so things didn't work out, and there'll be a fine. And so what? That's not the end of the world. Exactly. We'll try to do better next time. And the perfection, what a shame that we even think it's possible.
I know. And it's more fun to not be perfect, actually.
Right.
And when you were talking about, dress and all this kind of stuff. So I'm retired, doing this new wonderful career, and I do get up every day and do my hair and makeup, and but I do it for me. I don't do it for you anymore. I do it for me. Like, I feel better. My day goes better because I feel like I took care of myself. And I think that's maybe where people kind of get screwed up there, that they're doing it for somebody else.
It's like decorating your house, your home. You bring in fresh flowers. this, right? You pimp here and there. So of course you're allowed to pimp yourself. But like you say, it's for another reason. It's for a better reason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah.
It's been so wonderful talking about from stress to blessed.
Yes.
Everybody should take heart in what Joanna has shared with you today. And if you really want to delve more into this, I will be sharing now my slide of how to contact her. So if you are watching, you can do a screenshot. If you're listening, I hope you had a pen and paper, as I tell you all the time, to take notes throughout this, but you can get all this information if you go to my YouTube channel and subscribe, or go to findyourleadershipconfidence.com. All this information will be there for you to click away and get right to Joanna. And that website, for those just listening, is https://www.blisseyjoy.com. That's BLISSYJOY.com. blisslyjoy.com. On LinkedIn, you can find her by her name, Joanna Armstrong. And Facebook is Joanna Armstrong. And YouTube at Joanna Armstrong-Blissey Joy. I'm going to let Joanna talk to you about what you can find when you go to her website and what her call to action might be. Joanna, it's all yours.
Thank you, Victoria. So on my website, blisseyjoy.com, you can sign up for free to learn this process that I use and I've helped clients with. It's a process where you do go from stress to bliss. And I take you through every single step. There are 5 steps, and they're very simple and they're very pleasant, because that's the whole point of my work, that joy is available before you clear out things. And when you focus on joy, when you focus on gratitude and yourself, your heart-centeredness, then some of your difficulties disappear on their own. And that's kind of magical, but it's actually metaphysical. So please, you're welcome to take part in that free offer. And I hope you enjoy it.
And definitely check out her YouTube channel. She has some great little videos that you can look at and learn more about what she's doing. Well, it has been just wonderful chatting with you, and thank you for staying up late in Stockholm to chat with me today. But I hope that you enjoy this conversation as much as I did. I love talking about this. You know, I teach leadership, leading with the heart, the head, and the hands. It just so aligned with what you do, and so important what you do.
It's our favorite subject. Yes, it's our favorite subject, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. And
well,
you know,
thank you
especially you are very welcome. But I was just going to say, more people in this world today need to go from stress to blessed. As always, I recommend and remind everyone that life is a journey, and it's up to you to enjoy the ride. This is Vicki Noethling, signing off.
Thank you for tuning into the Find Your Leadership Confidence podcast with Vicki Noethling, where we share impactful lessons that help you grow as an individual, grow your confidence, and find the positive and good within you so you powerfully and authentically become the best version of yourself. Remember to visit our website at www.findyourleadershipconfidence.com and enjoy even more great episodes like this one. Again, while you're here, subscribe to us via your favorite network. We look forward to seeing you next time on the Find Your Leadership Confidence podcast.